Welcome back to the part 4 of the boat restoration project. Here we're cutting some lumber. We're going to start putting in the floor and all the other parts and pieces. So I used the old boards as stencils, and then I would just measure everything out to make sure it looks right, trace it out with a pen, and then I'd start cutting away. I decided not to show all the boards being cut. This video would have gotten so much longer if I would have done that. It's already long enough the way it is. So here's a clip of me using some cardboard as a stencil. Basically I'd use the old board, lay it down on the cardboard, cut it out to size, and then I'd put that on a new piece of wood, or in this case I would put it on the back of the boat and trace around where I needed to be cut. I'd put that on the board, trace around the inside of the cardboard, and cut that out. So now we're going to seal up all the wood. I would do about 2 coats of this on most surfaces, and this is going to help keep the moisture out of it and preserve the wood for longer life. Alright, so we use this cover stain primer to prime the wood. So I've just got a couple pieces started here, and now this one's ready for the carpet. So we're just using some indoor-outdoor carpet adhesive, and we'll scrape that onto the wood, and then we'll be able to flip the board over and then lay it flat and smoothen out all the rough edges. The carpet glue is some really sticky stuff. I highly recommend putting on some rubber gloves. It's just really annoying if you get it stuck on your fingers. The wood that I'm putting on top is just acting as a weight to keep the carpet from bubbling up. So I'm going to show you guys a quick way of how I'm doing this. Basically I'm just taking my putty, getting enough on there, take this little scraper here, spread it around. It's just going to help keep the carpet down over time. A little bit more. So I'll take it now and just flip it right over onto the carpet. Like that. And I just leave enough room on every corner to fold it over. Try and press it down some so it grips it. Now the fun part. Take the gloves off and then we'll cut it to size and staple it down. I'm just going to cut and leave about 1.5 to 2 inches to fold it over with. I'll start with this corner here. Fold it over tight. Just put 2 staples in for now. It's gonna hold it. And then this little corner here. So this little corner here, I'm just gonna take my razor blade, cut along the wood until we bring it flat. And from there, got this whole piece, we can cut that right out of there. Okay, now that whole piece will cover over like that. Start folding over the sides. Want it as tight as you can. Sometimes when you get this curvature in it, you'll have to cut it so that way it fits in there a little nicer. Just like a relief cut once in a while is all it takes. Just right in here, just gonna make a relief cut. Just like that. The whole board, nice and smooth. Looks good. It's been a while since I put another video up. Just want to apologize for not having this video as quickly as I had hoped. Basically, I've been trying to look for red carpet, the same color here. Got it at home or Menards, and it couldn't find it in stock again, so ended up having to just switch the top layer. So everything on the top is going to be this gray carpet, and then everything on the bottom and leading up to it, so everything up to the top of it will be red. I think it'll still look pretty good in the end. So yeah, we've just been putting together a bunch of pieces in the meantime, cutting out all these holes and putting all the carpet together. I'm going to show you how I do the inside corners. Basically what I'm going to do is cut a triangle out of some of our leftover material, and then I'm just going to cut right up the middle here, just like that. So then it's going to curl over, kind of hard to see, but it can bend in and then curl over without leaving any seams. Take this piece here, shove it up underneath, bend it in. We just do that all the way around, so then that piece is shoved in. Got a couple of pieces of aluminum angle iron here. We're going to use as braces for the hatches. I'll just simply go like that. Help hold the hatches up a bit. We're going to rivet those on. This is the board that my speakers will be attached to, and it's also going to cover up this whole area in the front of the boat here. So basically I just cut holes here right in the center of the boat. This is my center, so it's directly down the middle, and then this is going to be the board that's going to line up with my dash here, and this side I cut out so it fits the curvature of the boat, and that's going to also hold up the front end here. This whole board is going to be supported somewhat by this. Little test fit before the carpet and paint goes on. My speakers sit in there very nice. speakers will sit right down the middle of the boat like that. Then my battery for my trolling motor will go right there. I've got storage up front. Took a little bit of white Flex Seal here, sprayed the coolers. That should help keep them from cracking. Now we'll be fastening the floor. We've kind of got it outlined pretty good here. Just did a little mock setup, but now we can actually start putting the floor in and fastening it all down. So to fasten the floor down, I've just got some marks made here. So I'm going to take screws, I'll go through the carpet and wood, and then into the aluminum ribs that go across the boat. I've got them all marked out here as you go along. I'll just take a piece of angle iron and set it in between the two ribs to line it up to make sure I'm level. I'll just put a bunch of screws in as we go. I'm using some stainless screws here. They got the Phillips head, so in case you were to walk on them or anything like that, it's not going to hurt your feet at all. Still, they'll be sunken into the carpet a little ways, so that'll help as well. And then they also are self-tapping ones, so they'll be able to go through, they'll be able to bite through the aluminum as well. So I'm trying to put some screws where you won't see them, especially you won't walk on them. So I'm going to put a couple of them underneath the seat here. I'll put a couple more up front underneath the steering column and the front deck. Put a couple underneath the foot pedestal here because there's a piece of sheet metal there that'll help hold it down. I cut a bunch of pieces of square tubing and some angle iron, and I'm going to attach them by rivets like this, and that's going to give me some extra support underneath. So actually it'll look like this piece. Then I can put them underneath here, and then it sticks out a little over the curvature of the boat to catch the edge of the boards. So got the steering column all cut out, got the holes for the radio and the toggle switches, as well as the tachometer and the temperature gauge. Gonna run a little bit of stain on it here. Well, I completely forgot to film it, but I started putting all of these piano hinges on. So I'll be able to put my lids in for that side, and soon the bottom too as well. The middle piece though, I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do for a seat yet, so that's just kind of going to be empty for now until I can figure out how I'm going to do all that. Alright, we got the front frame all put in. Got all of our brackets along the way. I took some angle iron and riveted them together so everything's fastened together so it shouldn't move side to side at all. Now we just got to put in our nose piece and then the big piece that goes over top of all this. So we got quite a bit done here. I screwed all of these center pieces in so they are all secured now, and I've got this hinge in for the back. Then we've got two hinges back here for battery and storage and whatnot, and then we've also got our beer hatches here. Be good for keeping Busch Light cold. And then we've got this big hatch down here at the bottom, which will be used to slide tanks in and out. So we got all of our gas tank storage is all done now. And then we've got the front here. I cut this piece wrong, so we're gonna have to redo this. Got my antenna put on. We've got this front piece put on here. And this just needs to get bolted down, but I'm waiting to get finished with the nose piece yet. So I got the dash put in now, and now we're just hooking up all the electrical stuff. I've got the radio just sitting there, and also the switch panel just laying in there for now. And I've got this hooked up, so you turn this on to turn on the power for the switch panel. And the reason I have the toggle switch is so that way the battery doesn't drain from the voltage meter staying on, and also the little light by the USB. Alright, so now we're doing the steering wheel. I've got everything put together here. This cover's on there kind of loose right now, but it's just got 2 Phillips screws that go through there that hold onto the actual piece of cast aluminum. And I don't know if you can see it through the drain hole there, but it's just a plate that goes around the bottom and it holds on to everything on the back side. So now we just got to put this little key inside here to hold the steering wheel, and that'll all go together. So the key holds it in right there. What I'm going to do next is shorten all the wires up, make everything look decent underneath, and then hopefully all my switches will work like they should. I've got a fuse box back here that's going to help with anything miscellaneous that I might have to hook up later. And then I've also got fuses on all my switches, and the radio also has a fuse. So everything is ready to be connected. I even hooked up the temperature gauge and the tachometer. The only problem with the temperature gauge, I'm not sure if it's accurate yet, so I think this is just going to be something I'm going to have to play with, but we'll find out with that soon as well. The speakers were really easy to do. All I had to do is cut out the holes before I made this piece, and then I slid the speakers in, screwed them on, and it just has 2 wires on each one. And I was able to use this front nose piece here where I haven't put the pedestal mount on yet, and I was able to run my hand back and forth through the hole to make sure everything lined up, and it runs down and around this corner and then right underneath the dash here. So everything is really easy to access. All I got to do now is shorten the wires up some, and I've already tested the radio and it's pretty sweet. It's loud and sounds not too bad, but to be honest with you, if I could go back, I'd probably get something a little bit better quality than these. It was just the cheapest ones on Amazon. So I mean, you get what you pay for, but it works fine for what I'm doing. So these are the only 3 pictures I have of the boat when I bought it. And this is what it looks like now with all the new carpet and all the new paint. So this is a side-by-side of a before and after of the boat. We're going to get some more footage here this spring of us cruising around on the river and testing it out. So stick around for that. Thanks for watching. Hit subscribe if you'd like to see more content.